In 1901, a group of sponge divers got pushed off course by a storm near a tiny Greek island called Antikythera. While they waited it out, they decided to dive anyway and found something nobody expected. A shipwreck over 2,000 years old, still holding statues, jewelry, coins, and a corroded lump of bronze that nobody paid much attention to at first. That lump sat in a museum in Athens for years before anyone looked closely enough to notice something strange inside it. Gear teeth. Small, precisely cut bronze gear teeth packed inside a shipwreck from around 100 BC. Gears that precise weren't supposed to exist for well over 1,000 years after this ship went down. It's called the Antikythera Mechanism, and it's real. It's been studied for over a century, and what it actually turned out to be is stranger than most people realize. So what is it? It's roughly the size of a large book, originally housed in a wooden case covered in inscribed text, almost like an instruction manual carved directly onto the device. Inside that case sat more than 30 interlocking bronze gears, hand-cut, some with teeth barely a millimeter across. Turn a hand crank on the side, and dials on the front and back would move to show you the position of the sun and moon against the zodiac on any date you wanted, past or future. And it did more than that. It could predict eclipses years in advance. It tracked the moon's actual motion across the sky, which isn't constant. The moon speeds up and slows down slightly because its orbit isn't a perfect circle. And this machine modeled that irregularity mechanically, using a clever pin and slot gear that wobbles as it turns to mimic the moon's changing speed. It even had a small dial tracking the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games and other major Greek athletic festivals. An analog computer built entirely out of bronze gears over 2,000 years ago. The back of the device is where it gets genuinely clever as an engineering solution, not just an astronomical one. 2 of the dials back there track long cycles, one 19 years long for lining the sun and moon calendars back up with each other, another spanning decades for predicting eclipses. Cramming a 19-year cycle onto a normal circular dial would have made the divisions too cramped to read. So whoever designed this spiraled the dial instead, like a groove on a record, winding around 4 or 5 full turns with a little pin that follows the spiral track as the display advances. It's the kind of solution you only arrive at after actually building the thing once and hitting the readability problem yourself. And the eclipse prediction wasn't a rough guess either. It was built around a real astronomical pattern the Babylonians had already identified centuries earlier, a roughly 18-year cycle where the sun, moon, and earth return to nearly the same relative positions, making eclipses repeat in a predictable sequence. The mechanism's designers took that known mathematical pattern and translated it directly into gear ratios, so turning the crank forward by a few years would tick the eclipse dial toward its next predicted date automatically. So how do we actually know all of this from a corroded lump of metal? For most of the 20th century, we didn't, not in detail. The mechanism was too fragile and too fused with corrosion to take apart safely. Researchers could see there were gears in there, and that was about it. The real breakthrough came in the mid-2000s when a research team brought in a custom-built high-resolution X-ray CT scanner, the kind normally used for industrial inspection, and scanned straight through the corrosion without touching the object at all. What came out of those scans was extraordinary. Not just the gear layout, tooth counts, gear ratios, the whole internal mechanism laid bare in 3 dimensions, but also thousands of tiny inscribed Greek characters, packed into surfaces so small they're barely visible to the naked eye. Essentially, a user manual, sitting there the entire time, waiting for a scanner sensitive enough to read it. That's how researchers reconstructed, with a genuinely high level of confidence, almost exactly what this device did and how it did it. Who actually built something like this? We don't know one specific name, and it's worth being honest about that instead of attaching a famous name to it just because it sounds better. What we do know is where the ship was likely headed. The wreck's cargo suggests it was sailing from the direction of Rhodes, which at the time was a major center for astronomy, and specifically home to the tradition connected to the astronomer Hipparchus, whose lunar theory lines up closely with the math this device is mechanically performing. The Roman writer Cicero, around the same period, separately described seeing bronze devices in that same broad tradition that modeled the motion of the sun, moon, and planets, some attributed to earlier work associated with Archimedes' school of thought. So this wasn't one lone genius working in isolation. It looks like the product of an actual engineering tradition, refined over generations, that we mostly only know about because one single example happened to survive a shipwreck. And that's the part that makes this whole story stranger than just impressive ancient technology. Because after this level of mechanical complexity, we don't see anything else like it for a very long time. Multiple interlocking gear trains, modeling real astronomical motion, built to this level of precision, doesn't show up again in the historical record until medieval European astronomical clocks start appearing in the 1300s. That's a gap of well over 1,000 years. Which raises the obvious question: if they could build this, why did that knowledge just disappear? The honest answer isn't mysterious or magical. It's just how fragile specialized knowledge actually is. This level of precision gearing wasn't something written into a widely copied textbook. It almost certainly lived inside a small number of workshops, passed down directly from craftsman to apprentice. The Eastern Mediterranean world that produced this device went through centuries of war, shifting empires, and economic disruption in the centuries that followed. It doesn't take a lost civilization or forgotten super science to explain a skill vanishing. It just takes the handful of people who knew how to do it losing the chance to pass it on. Quick pause, because if you've ever heard ancient people couldn't have built that about something they very obviously did build, hit like and subscribe. That's basically the whole reason this channel exists. This is a pattern we keep running into. Synesthesia looked like it might be a rare glitch limited to a tiny number of people, until it turned out nearly everyone carries a faint version of that same cross-sensory wiring. Time, feeling like it speeds up as you age, turned out to be several real, separate explanations stacking on top of each other, not just nostalgia. Every time, the real explanation is more specific and more interesting than just calling something impossible. Nobody needs to invoke aliens or a lost golden age to explain the Antikythera Mechanism. They need a genuinely brilliant workshop tradition, a scanner sensitive enough to finally read 2,000-year-old handwriting carved in bronze, and a reminder that the ancient world was never as primitive as it's convenient to assume. It sat in a museum drawer for decades before anyone realized what they actually had. If you like watching impossible ancient technology claims get traced back to the real, well-documented engineering behind them, subscribe, because there's a lot more of this coming.